Welcome to the Student Athlete Balance Podcast. In this podcast, I will be asking questions and discussing tips on balancing being a student athlete with other student athletes. I will go over topics such as academics, sports, mental health, and maintaining relationships and balancing all four. Being a student athlete can take a toll on your mental health if you don't know how to balance all the aspects of your life yet. So, I hope you, as the listener, will be able to learn something that helps you with your life as a student athlete. But a little disclaimer, this podcast isn't just for student athletes, it can also help people who are struggling with managing time and balancing their life. Well, I hope you learned something and enjoy. Today I'm here with Aidan Mckeating, a baseball and basketball player in the 11th grade.
So to start off, what does a normal day look like for you, with baseball and school?
Typically a normal day looks like I'll wake up, get a good breakfast, and then, we have school from about 7 to 2. And then some days, maybe 4 out of the 7 days, I'll try to get a workout in, lift to stay healthy. And then typically practice, and then doing stuff on my own and with the team.
Oh, okay.
That's usually in season 6 days of the week.
Yeah.
And then in the fall, 4 days a week.
Is it different with basketball?
It is a little bit different with basketball. I feel basketball, they go more 6 days of the week throughout the whole year. And that consists of, I feel like we're here longer during basketball too, because we share the gym. Whereas baseball, there's only one team on the baseball field. So
Okay.
the gym, you're kind of sharing it. So we're here till about 8:30
Oh, wow.
every night. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So how do you balance, school and basketball or school and baseball?
I think balancing, I know it sounds cliche, but managing your time really well and utilizing that time when you're not doing anything to get done extra schoolwork, homework, so you're not pushing it off till maybe the night before and then you're stressing. And that affects how you play too, because you're worrying about schoolwork you have to do.
Yeah.
So I'd say not procrastinating, and I know for basketball we have a study hall that we do after school before we practice, so utilizing that time as well is a big help.
Yeah. Do you struggle with procrastination?
Yes, I kind of have to have my parents and myself check me sometimes, because I find myself waiting the last minute to get work done, or maybe some homework that I should have completed 2 nights before rather than the day before class, or the class before, matter of fact, which is not good.
Do you have any tips on that? When you are able to not procrastinate?
I would just say, like I said before, utilizing the extra time you have and not waiting till the last second. If you have a little time and you're at home before, say you're practicing, get it done. Don't just wait and expect for it to be fine later, because that doesn't help.
Yeah. I know sometimes I struggle with that. I wait too long to get my work done, and then I'm stressed the next day.
It affects your performance too.
Yeah, definitely, because then you're stressed during your sport and you can't focus on it.
Yes.
Do you get enough sleep? Because I know for a lot of people, with sports and school, it's really hard to get sleep, especially in season.
That's something I would say I don't have trouble with. My dad's really kind of pride that in sleep is important as an athlete, because that's the main recovery is when you're sleeping.
Yeah.
So I try to get to bed within 9:30 and 10 o'clock every night, and that typically means waking up at 6:30, so maybe a good 7 to 8 hours every night.
Oh, that's good.
And being consistent with that, because it's not going to be perfect every night, because you have games and stuff, but staying along those lines, I think that's kind of my thing.
Do you have any tips on getting enough sleep?
I'd say putting the phone down at night. That's my biggest thing. I feel like I made a better decision for myself, not using the phone past 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because I know it keeps me up. And I go down the rabbit hole just scrolling on TikTok and all the social media platforms. So I'd say just give the phone a break.
Yeah, put limits on. I know sometimes I do that. I'll start scrolling and then an hour passed and I didn't get enough sleep.
Yes.
Do you try to take breaks with schoolwork, or do you have to squeeze in breaks?
Yeah, I would say breaks are important, because it gives yourself a time to rest and recuperate, because when you're going a lot, and I know sports a lot is alone in the high school, and especially school, the IB program.
Yeah.
You have to give yourself breaks, and whether that's maybe a 5-minute take the dog out and go outside for a couple minutes, because that's what I find myself doing when I get I feel like I'm working a lot. I need a reset, because then you kind of get out of place. So I'd say breaks are a very important, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. Would you say taking breaks on your phone is like not a good way to spend your break?
I would say it's not the best way, but as long as you're conscious of your time and like we said earlier, you're not getting down that rabbit hole, I think you'll be fine. But probably something to do without the device will help, because then, it's an addiction, so you get stuck to the phone and you start scrolling.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you have any tips that work for like getting stuff done while also squeezing in breaks? I know sometimes that you will be like stressed and you have to get something done and you don't take breaks and it like affects you later.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that comes back to the procrastinating, because if you get an assignment, I'm sure, like say a project, you will have time to complete it.
Yeah.
So don't wait till the last second and then you're stressing yourself out, and then you don't have time to take a break and let your brain rest for a second while you're doing a project, because projects are a lot. So I'd say just still don't procrastinate, probably.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I feel like that plays a big role in like everything you do. Have you ever felt like overwhelmed when it comes to like schoolwork or being in season for either sport?
I would definitely say I felt overwhelmed, because I mean, school alone's a lot, and then you're trying to balance being like a good athlete, and you want to play college sports. So
yeah,
I'd say it's definitely been overwhelming, but I feel like my parents have guided me in the right direction. Like, kind of the motto of take one thing at a time has helped me a lot. So
that definitely works, like step by step. Would you say that's how you like manage being overwhelmed?
I would say so, because if you take one thing at a time, you're not looking past something, or you're not overstressing yourself out, because that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I think that's like great advice, because that's like really simple and it like breaks everything down into like steps. What are tips on keeping good grades or managing a good GPA?
Taking the right classes, I think, would play a huge role in that too. Stuff that weighs your GPA well, and then studying will definitely help. Yeah, because then the good test grades result in good score or good GPA. So I would say probably classes you take, and then just paying attention in class too will help with that. Because obviously, if you're an athlete, sometimes the teachers will know you. So I think making that connection and then taking good notes and being a student is going to help a lot.
Yeah, because I know for many athletes, like, it's easier when you are not close with your teachers, but they kind of know that you're busy. And I know a lot of people I've already talked to said that, like, their teachers always, like, cut them slack and stuff and, like, help them out.
And I also add on, I find it very important. Our basketball coaches kind of like us to introduce ourselves to our teachers the first day of school, so that you're kind of on their radar, and, maybe it goes a little bit of a way for your teachers to look out for you.
That's good advice, because it can be hard to maintain, like, a positive attitude when you're stressed or overwhelmed with, like, sports or schoolwork. Like, what are tips on keeping a positive attitude?
I mean, for me, I feel like I just have to realize at times it's a game, and we choose to, like, play it for fun and not really, like, create it feel like a job, and it's something we have to do. And I kind of feel myself getting caught up like that. Sometimes, like, I have to do this, I have to go there, rather than, like, enjoying the process. Yeah, because I know some people can, like, forget that the reason they do the sport is because they love the sport. Yeah. What are things that you still struggle with when it comes to, like, time management, besides, like, procrastination? I would say still balancing, like, working out, and then being able to get to school, practice, all those things. Because, like, for example, today I went before school and lifted because we have basketball practice now. So it's definitely tough like that, and you have to realize, like, again, back to the sleep, you have to realize what time you need to go to bed, because if I'm waking up earlier than I usually do, I probably have to go to bed a little earlier to get that same amount of rest. So, just being cognitive of time. Yeah. Do you ever have to plan, like, your day, like, or your week out, so you have time to, like, work out before school or after? I would definitely say so, and I think, like, we have a planner at home that kind of keeps track of those types of things. So I'm in a routine, and I'm not kind of getting out of sorts. So I would say a planning part and routine is really important. In sports, if you want to perform at your best, you have to maintain your physical health, like staying energized for games. Do you have any tips on that? I would say eating right. Eating right is a huge factor. Not the junk food that you see people eating before. That's definitely not going to help you stay healthy. And then I would say, like, I like to ice a lot, like my knees and stuff, because like over time they're gonna hurt, obviously. So why not get ahead of it rather than waiting till you're hurting and then you're trying to
that's smart.
hustle. Yeah. So I'd say just staying ahead of things, and then eating right is my biggest things.
Do you ever struggle with eating right? Because I know for a lot of athletes, like, it's definitely hard to, like, eat right when you're so busy.
It is for sure, because even when you're traveling, like, you want to get the Chick-fil-A, the Hardee's, but you just have to find, like, some of the places that are healthy, or, like, my parents do. I give them a lot of credit. They do a good job of, like, meal planning for me.
Yeah.
And kind of getting meals at the beginning of the week that I can, like, come home after school and eat, rather than eating out or wasting money.
Yeah.
And eating right,
That's always good. Do you ever feel pressure when it comes to, like, academics or sports?
Yeah, I would say so, because I feel, I don't know, you always want to perform well, so I would say there's definitely always pressure, and a lot of people look for you to do good, I guess, so I would say there's some pressure, especially getting recruited, too. You obviously want to perform
I'm sure
at
that's
the
a
best.
lot. Yeah. Do you have any tips on that? Like, pressure in general?
Like, I just keep going back to, like, it's fun, and it's, like, it's just a game, so just, like, kind of remind yourself to have fun. I know it's hard and it sounds cliche, but I feel like that would be my advice.
Yeah, I feel like that's good advice, because a lot of people kind of, like, forget, and then it's kind of hard to, like, keep going when you don't love what you're doing. What do you like to do, like, outside of, like, baseball or basketball or, like, sports in general? And if you do other things, like, how do you, like, make time for those things that you like to do?
I definitely like to fish. I feel there's always time for everything, as well, as long as you manage it well. I like to fish a lot. That's about it, and walk my dog. So I feel like that kind of brings me peace. So, yeah. You
say, like, you manage your time well to, like, find time for that?
Just, like, it goes back to, once again, getting the work done on time, so that you have time to go do those things that you want to do. And then, that's what I would say.
Okay. I feel like that makes a lot of sense. Was the recruiting, like, process stressful?
It definitely was stressful, because you have to have, like, a lot of tough conversations with, like, coaches that you're talking to over the phone, because maybe that's a place you don't want to go. But nowadays, with coaches moving frequently, you don't want to burn bridges. So I would say it's definitely a little stressful, but at the same time, you have to enjoy it, because you realize that coaches want you, and you're going to get to play college sports. So that's the fun part about it. Yeah.
Is that how you, like, managed being able to go through the recruiting process too, as well as everything else?
Yeah, like remembering it's fun, and just always being polite too, and
Back to, like, things you enjoy doing. Did you ever struggle to find time to hang out with, like, your friends outside of sports, or, like, your family?
I wouldn't say so, because my family's always come to the games too. So and usually I try to spend time with them at night after dinner, because, like, I usually don't have homework a lot, so I'll watch TV with them. And, like, on the weekends too, when I'm not practicing, I find time to hang out with them and my friends. So I would say I have enough time for that.
Well, that's good. Do you have any tips for people who want to get recruited in their sport?
I would just say reach out to coaches. Don't be afraid to. What's the worst they can say is, like, no. That's what I did. I sent probably 100 emails to different schools, just seeing what would happen, and then obviously just keep, like, working hard, and then
Do you have any tips for, like, performing your best in your sport while also having to focus on, like, your grades as well?
I would say, like, when you're on the baseball field, focus on baseball, and then when it's time for, like, school, focus on school. Don't try to think about both while you're doing one at the same time, because then that's when your mind will start getting a little stressed. That's my biggest thing, is just focusing on one thing at a time and be in the moment.
Like, directing, like, your energy to, like, what you're doing. Did you ever have to deal with, like, stress when it comes to, like, school or, like, sports?
Oh yeah, 100%. Just, like, because obviously your grades aren't going to be perfect all the time, and you're going to feel the pressure from your parents. So I'd say that part of school aspect, you always want to do good too, but for yourself. And then sports, I find it also helpful when I get in those stress moments to breathe and kind of slow down everything around me.
For managing stress, is, like, a lot of your tips just, like, taking deep breaths, like, breath work?
I kind of like to close my eyes too, and like visualization helps a lot.
Yeah.
And just like kind of slow down the moment, I guess you could say, because things get fast quick. So
Yeah. Well,
just kind of controlling your breathing.
I think that's good advice because I know a lot of athletes sometimes deal with that stuff and they don't know like what to do.
Yeah.
Have you ever dealt with like injuries before?
Yes. I've only broken one bone. That's like the only time I've ever missed any games was my freshman year, actually on my birthday. I was turning 15, and I went up for a layup in our first game, and I broke my wrist. So I was out for like 6 weeks. That was kind of tough too because that was my freshman year.
Oh.
So it was like I was about to start on I was starting for the basketball team, and we were like really good that year. So that kind of sucked just watching. But when I came back, and all my teammates showed support too, so that made it a lot better. Especially the coaches too. That's always the thing you're worried about. If like you're gonna play.
If you're gonna play again after. Do you have any tips on like people who get injured or like injury prevention in general? Even though I know sometimes you can't prevent.
Yeah, I mean obviously the things that you control like stretching, you know, taking like eating again. That goes back to the part of like filling your body with the right nutrients, so that you're not more prone to injuries, and strengthening your muscles. Like constantly stretching, probably like I drink a lot of milk, so yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah. Does basketball and baseball ever interfere with each other?
No, they haven't yet. But it depends how far we make it in playoffs for basketball. But it usually wouldn't interfere with a actual regular season game for baseball. Maybe a scrimmage, but no, they don't interfere. I still manage my time well to get my baseball work in and still be with the basketball team.
Yeah. How do you manage both sports? Because I know I do like 2 sports, and it's hard to like manage both of them.
Yeah, like I said, just being in the moment when you're there for like that sport. And typically I usually take a break from baseball like November and December, so it's kind of easy to just focus on basketball.
Yeah.
But like when January comes around, it gets a little harder because I have to start throwing and hitting and doing all those things while basketball season's still going on. So I try to just, like the time we have after school, I'll be able to throw and hit and then get to like study hall at 3:30 for basketball.
Well, thank you for being with me. I learned a lot.
Yes, thank you.